What is up, YouTube? It is your Knight and Protector, Sane here. Welcome back to the channel, and today is going to be the Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke tier list. Outside of Gen 3, I definitely have the most experience in Platinum, and I've been doing some research on this game again because I plan on doing a run with it here pretty soon on the channel. I think the plan right now is doing a type draft run, so me and a friend are going to draft types and try to, pick 9 of the 18 types. We're counting Fairy too, just for the Pokemon that turn into Fairy types later. Anyways, we're gonna pick those types and do a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Platinum, only using Pokemon of those types, and just just kind of for fun. Probably not like a race or a Soul Link or anything. Just probably solo runs of the game with those types, and just for like pure enjoyment. So, also, I'm still going over a cold, and my voice still kind of hurts a little bit, even though it's come back for the most part. So I will be, sucking on some Halls. So shout out to Halls for sponsoring this video. I need to keep my health up. So anyways, let's get through this. We're going to try to get through this as fast as possible while also, describing things pretty well. I tend to shift my tier list formats around a lot, but you guys seem to like just the typical ones that most other people do. So we've got S, A, B, C, and F tier. I still got my SS banned here. This Pokemon that should just be banned. I'm not going to talk about Pokemon like Gyarados, who I usually ban in Nuzlocks and stuff. I'll just do, like Legendaries and anything else like that. So, let's just go ahead and get through it. So, Torterra is an amazing starter. I think it's easily A tier. It gets through a lot of the region very well. Let me pull up Platinum Gyms. I won't show this for everybody. I just want to like real quick go through, not this one, CRB. Real quick go through the gyms. You've got a rock gym, a grass gym, a ghost gym, fighting, grass, steel, ice, electric, and then for the Elite Four, we have, let's see, Elite Four. You have a bug, ground, fire, psychic, and then Cynthia, who is variety champion. And then for the, I guess, I won't show it, but the other important boss fights are the Team Galactic leaders, which are always like Zubats, Bronzor, and then it's Purugly, or Skuntank, or Cyrus is like Gyarados and Weavile, so it's like dark types. It's typically dark types and flying types with a couple normal types mixed in there, so like type, if we're looking at like boss matchups, those are the types I'm keeping in mind. And Torterra is really good against a lot of them. He's really bulky. Grass Ground is really good coverage. You get Earthquake by the time, actually, you can evolve and have Earthquake by the time you fight Maylene, so you can fight the Lucario with stat Earthquake already on a fully evolved, really bulky Pokemon. You get Rock Polish later, so you can do Rock Polish sweeps. He's got Leech Seed. He's got just a lot he can do. He's a super strong Grass type. One of the best Grass type stars, I think, in a region that Grass does pretty good, and Ground is also really good. Infernape is easy S tier. It's too strong. It's just too strong and has too good of a moveset with like U-turn, close combat, Flare Blitz or Flamethrower, and then like other move you want, just any other move you want. You can do like Mach Punch, but you don't really need it because you're so fast. Offensively, it's an amazing Pokemon. It's not. I don't think it's as easy to use as like Torterra, just because bulk and like bulky pivots and stuff are really easy, but there's not a lot of fire types. There's not a ton of fighting types, and Infernape is just so strong. It doesn't struggle with like anything in the region, like Wake. That's about it. Like Wake and Fantina, I guess. And that's about it. It's super strong. Empoleon is the worst of the starters, but it's still somewhere in A tier, at least in my opinion. Having a Steel type is really good, but you're going to get a lot of other water types, and I don't think it's quite as offensively threatening as the other two, and defensively it's probably the best defensively, just because water steel typing is so crazy. But Torterra's also, I would say, maybe better defensively because he has Leech Seed and like Synthesis, so he's got some ways like that. I think Empoleon does get Roost though, so let me pull up like Platinum Pokedex. So I can fact check myself as I talk about things in case I forget. I think you can get Roost. Where is Roost? Roost. Maybe? Maybe not? Oh wait, I should probably Yeah, it's Gen 4. I don't think you can get Roost yet. I think it's not till Gen 8 where you can. You can use Sword Stance. That's really cool. I don't see Roost, so I think it's probably only Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, unless I never gets Roost and I'm just like forgetting things. Just want to check real quick because I'm curious. No Roost. I guess I think I was remembering wrong. So yeah, the healing, defensive wise, but just Water Steel is really good typing. You're gonna get a ton of other water types though. There's a good selection of other steel types in the game, but just still having both, really good typing. They're all just super good. Staraptor is probably S tier, honestly. It's so good. You have Intimidate, you have Intimidate really early too. The flying type has a lot of really good matchups with encounters. Sorry. I did spreadsheets to show how good everything. The flying type's got some good matchups throughout the game. And with all the coverage that you get on Staraptor, you got a perfect moveset with Brave Bird, Close Combat, U-Turn, Roost. Perfect. Intimidate, pivoting, you're super fast, you're super strong too. Yeah, absolutely amazing Pokemon. Weebarrel is also really strong A tier, only if you have Simple. If you do not have Simple, you can kind of counter check with this thing, just if it doesn't have Simple, honestly just go to the next or just reset at that point because early in the game. But with Simple, you have your defense curl, which is essentially an iron defense. Now you do take more from Growl early on, but you'll get over that eventually. So you've got +2 defense curl rollouts early on in the game, which is really, really strong. And eventually you get Curse. You have Amnesia for just more wall breaking, and you get Curse too, so you can do Curse, which is a Swords Dance and an Iron Defense all in one turn at the cost of -2 speed, which you don't really need because Weebarrel is not really gonna be fast no matter what you do. So that is just that's so good. Simple, it just makes this thing really good. Water Normal is actually really good coverage too. Kricketune is awful. It does nothing. You can Swords Dance, but what? What? Luxray is another A tier, I'm going to put it. It could be faster, but Intimidate makes it pretty bulky. Intimidate's such a good ability. If you know anything about me and my channel and my thoughts, you'll know that I think Intimidate is so good. Intimidate Pokemon are just really strong. Plus, early electric coverage is nice. Not that you're really using it against gyms, but having Intimidate electric type against Crasher Wake, who I think is one of the harder gyms, is a really good idea because all of his water types are all physical attackers. You're going to take care of the Gyarados. You intimidate the Quagsire and can intimidate Shuffle with another Gyarados or a Staraptor and can do a lot of intimidate shuffling. You're going to get a lot of intimidates early game in Platinum. And it just holds out. It has a really high attack stat. So even though it doesn't have the best electric stab, Crunch and the Elemental Fangs are some great coverage for it. I can't remember. Do you get the Fangs tutor-wise or is it just the punches? It's just the punches. Okay. So that hurts a little bit, but still just Crunch and Thunder Wave, and I think you can move Relearn the Fangs for Luxray. I'll double check this real quick. Even Rivalry is not a bad ability. Intimidate is way better, but Rivalry could be okay sometimes, depending on the okay, so ignore everything I was saying about Thunder Fang or Fire Fang and Ice Fang. That's egg moves, so you can't get those. You can move tutor superpower. Nope, just kidding. Okay, so not as much coverage as I was thinking. Sorry, apologies. That's why I fact checked myself. But still, even just dark coverage with Crunch and stuff is really good. You get Scary Face for nice support, Swagger. Yeah, it's got some good support. Intimidate, even having Intimidate Light Screen is a good combo if you want to make this thing pretty supporty. And just stat-wise, it hits hard. It's got some okay bulk to it. 80s basically in all defenses is not too bad, especially with Intimidate. 120 attack's really nice. Speed it's slow. And then special attack is still pretty good if you want to do special electric type attack. So I think it's a nice, flexible electric type. Early electric type is better than some of the later ones you get, even though probably some later electric types are probably better than Luxray overall. I think just the earliness you get it and early intimidating stuff is really nice. And then Crunch, having Bite off the high attack stat and Intimidate for Fantina is really nice. I guess Intimidate doesn't really matter for Fantina, but... Kadabra still just hits really hard. If you're not doing Trade Evolution, Kadabra's still going to hit really hard. Psychic's okay for the region. Not fantastic, but early Kadabra just is always so strong. It'll carry you through main lane. It's honestly going to be really good for Fantina, just helping take care of the Haunter. And then for the rest of the game, it's just like pretty strong. It's not doing, you know, amazing things throughout the rest of the game. But early game, Kadabra is really strong, and early game Alakazam is even stronger. So I guess the way I rank things is best case scenario with your Pokemon with the Pokemon. So it's got the nature, it's got the ability you want, and you're playing in a format that you could evolve anything. You have trade evolutions or whatever. And with just raw trade evolution, you can have an Alakazam level 16, which is just ridiculous, and that's always S tier. If you're emulating and you do the impossible evolutions, it evolves at like 37, and that's still really good because level caps in this game are actually really high. So you'll have an Alakazam by Wake, which is still just helpful. And then for the rest of the game, it's kind of, you know, falling off once you get to the like Elite Four. You're not really using it for much here. Even against Cynthia, you're not using it for much. But it's still just, if you could get level 16, Alakazam is super strong. If you don't, then it probably jumps down to 8 tier with Kadabra, because I feel like they fall off around similar times, but still, you know, stronger. But I'm gonna throw it in S tier. Gyarados should pretty much always be banned in any Nuzlocke ever, because it's always guaranteed and it's amazing and so broken because you actually have physical water type attacks now, and you get Dragon Dance at some point, I'm pretty sure. But guaranteed Intimidate, Water Flying typing, so good. Yeah, Dragon Dance at 44. And you have Dragon Dance by Candace. Like, that need I say more? You have Dragon Dance by Candace, Aqua Tail at 35 for some reason. Really early Ice Fang too. Like, it's amazing. You get Bite level up. So you've got like a full moveset by the time you get Dragon Dance. Level 44, you've got a full end game moveset, super strong. Earthquake. Like, need I explain Gyarados? Roserade's a super strong A tier. I really feel like the tier list for Platinum is very top heavy. There's a lot of really good Pokemon that you can get. Roserade's a super solid Pokemon. You get Bidoof super early. It's fast. It's a great grass type with Grass Whistle. You don't have Sleep Powder, unfortunately, which really sucks. But you still have Grass Whistle. I guess I should pull up Roselia for moveset. Because Stone Evolution. And you can get a Sunstone, or Shiny Stone, not too late. And Roselia will be okay for the early game. And Grass type early game is pretty nice, helping with Crush Wake. Yeah, you have Grass Whistle, no Sleep Powder, but Grass Whistle will work. You have Petal Dance. Later on, you're going to learn Giga Drain. So you've got some pretty good movesets, plus you have Sludge Bomb, which is now special, which will be a good stab move. You can learn Shadow Ball for coverage. It doesn't have Chlorophyll, which is a bit of a bummer, but you get other like strong grass moves. Grass type moves just get better in this generation with like Energy Ball and Grass Knot. And you can still do like Sunny Day Solar Beam for some really high attack. It's a super solid grass type. Having Sleep Powder would make it even better, and I'd probably say better than Torterra. But just, you know, its stats are all, it's really good. In Grass Whistle, you still have a sleep move, and it's pretty fast. It's very strong, very solid. Crobat probably goes into the S tier just because early evolution and flying is very solid for the region. Poison's not great, and it could be. It's not. I don't think it's as good as Staraptor just because of Intimidate. It actually could fall down to A tier, maybe. I just think how early you can get Crobat is so good, and flying in the region is just really solid. Like, you'll have Crobat. You can't have Crobat for Gardenia, but you can have a Crobat for Fantina, which makes that fight a lot easier. You'll have Crobat for Maylene, and then just like a really strong Pokemon for like Crash Awake and stuff. And then it takes a hard drop off until about the Elite Four, because these gyms just kind of clap it. Then it goes to Elite Four, and is really useful against like Aaron and Bertha, and is solid against Flint, against like the Infernape, which can be pretty scary. And then for Cynthia, it's just a bulky Pokemon that can help take out like Roserade, and I mean Togekiss later when in like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, because it's poison type, or because it's a fairy type. It's a little bit better. But and then the rest of this is like it doesn't really lose to anything on Cynthia's team, so it could be like a bulky pivot to throw out Toxic on something scary, or just be like a pretty strong attacker. And you've got Roost in this generation, which just comes in handy. So I think probably low end of S tier, possibly in the A tier, but I'll still probably put it in the S tier just for the early evolution. Graveler. Without trait evolutions, Graveler still probably be B tier because it's just solid. B tier or C tier. Early game Geodude is really strong, but it's not the best typing for the region. You definitely run into some issues pretty quickly. You take out Rourke, but he's not really hard. Any starter takes out Rourke. Then you struggle with Gardenia. You're not really doing much for Fantina, and Maylene's going to scare you, and then Crash Awake scares you. Then you get to Byron, who's kind of a 50-50. I mean, your ground typing is going to help against like these two, but you still have to worry about Steel types and Steelix beating you. And then Candace is kind of a toss-up, and then Volkner you're finally good for. And then if you leave 4, you just completely take on Aaron and Flint, but you're not really doing too much against Cynthia besides the Togekiss. So it's kind of hit or miss with just the rock and ground type. And I think Graveler's stats will just kind of fall off, so it probably goes somewhere like maybe the C tier. I think I'm leaning towards C tier, while Golem lands itself in the B tier. If you can evolve it, get better stats, you can justify taking it to the Elite Four and stuff. Onix, you can't. Onix stats are so bad, but Steelix is super strong if you can get really early Steel type. Steel and Ground is really nice because you don't have any quad weaknesses like Bastiodon or other Steel types. Bastiodon, Probopass, some of the other Steel types you get all have quad weaknesses. Massive defense. You're not hitting very hard, but you do have some like okay coverage and like Dragon Breath and stuff like that. You still have Stab Earthquake, which is just like valuable. If you get Rockhead, that is the best because then you can use like Double Edge and hit harder. And yeah, you learn Double Edge and can do that and hit harder. If you had like Head Smash or something, that would definitely help, but I mean, just Rockhead for Double Edge, because 30 doesn't really, whatever, like 30's whatever. You can get the Elemental Fangs for some nice coverage. You get Screech, which will help you hit harder, Rock Polish. You got some really good stuff, even like Dragon Breath for special, I guess, if you insist on having special. 55 special attack, whatever. Yeah, 85 attack is not crazy, but just the sheer defensive utility, like physical defensive utility of Steelix is super strong. And a lot of the gyms cannot handle Steelix very well. I can't remember, where do you get a metal coat, actually? So you know when you can get this thing exactly. I can't remember. Iron Island from Byron? Okay. So you get it on, so you're not going to have a Steelix for a little bit. But Steelix by the time you get it, you'll have it right for Candace, which will be pretty helpful against a couple things here. And Volkner, which is just going to completely cleave through. And then Steel type, beating up Aaron. You're not the best for Flint, but you're pretty okay. And you're going to wall out Lucian pretty hard, except for the Glade. And then against Cynthia, having a super great physical wall against a couple things here is pretty okay, like walling out Spiritomb and doing pretty good against Togekiss and even like Roserade. It's not too bad, so pretty solid. Not quite S tier, but I think a really solid A tier. If you could get Middle Coat earlier, that would definitely help, but you're stuck with an Onix for a long time, which just kind of sucks, but it's pretty solid. I think I'll put it somewhere, probably like above Luxray maybe, in the A tier. This thing's attack is so high, but you can't really use it without like Agility Baton Pass or screens or something. You have to build your entire team around it to use this thing, and I think it's got to go to F tier for that one reason. Its stats are just so bad. It's like, except for attack, it has only attack, and then everything else is so bad. Like 60, 50, and 58. Like, oh, how do you do this? Although Mold Breaker, Earthquake, I guess I'll put it in C tier. Because you can do it. If you get a Baton Passer like a Girafarig or Ambipom or Apom who can Baton Pass Agility to it, then you can use it. But you do have to you have to dedicate another team slot to it. and that pulls it down super hard. And it'll hit really hard. Mold Breaker, Earthquake, so you hit things with Levitate and stuff is strong. Also, it's shiny, looks really cool, but yeah, it's not not the best. Having like Stab, Head Smash off of that massive attack will one shot even resists, honestly, but it's just hard to use. It's hard to use. You have to build a team around it, and I think that pulls it down to C tier. Plus, there's pure rock typing isn't that great. It's not horrible, but it's not that great. Bastiodon has like Metal Burst shenanigans, and like I guess you can like Toxic Stall with like Rest or something. I don't really know what you're doing with it. Just it has such high defenses, but like for what kind of thing? It's like you have like pivoting, and that's all you really do. Pivoting, Toxic. I mean, Metal Burst is solid, I guess, but having quad weaknesses makes it a little awkward with ground and fighting being pretty common on like matchups you want to fight too. Even like the Elite Four, like Flint stops you dead in your tracks with the Infernape and stuff. So it's just like it's a little awkward. But it's still a Steel type in Metal Burst. I could maybe throw it in the B tier. I think if it was a little bit more comfortable to use, it'd be better in C tier. Or in the B tier. Machoke is... I feel like there's not a ton of fighting types, but you do have a guaranteed Lucario, so like, if you need a fighting type, it's not Machoke. So I'm going to probably pull it down to C tier. Stat-wise, it just doesn't really... I mean, you still have the potential for Guts, or even No Guard, which is super nice, because you can still do like Dynamic Punch on Machoke. And, you know, never missing cross chops and everything like that. But I feel like it's not really bulky to work with No Guard that well. So I think if you're stuck with Machoke, Guts is probably better. But with Machamp, you shoot up right to A tier. You're No Guard Dynamic Punch, No Guard cross chops. So hard. Hits so hard. Stone Edge too. Like, yeah, No Guard is a really crazy move. Plus you have elemental punches and your massive attack stat just hits really hard. Having a gold bulky fighting type can be pretty nice through the region, just taking care of a couple things here and there. And even like a good bulky fighting type with like Ice Punch to help with Cynthia's guard jump is not a bad idea. So I think it's really, really strong. Somewhere really high in A tier. Golduck is, you can guarantee a water type early. It's kind of just like a filler water type for a while. If you didn't start with like Empoleon or anything like that. You can guarantee it by not going to the ragged path or whatever that route is to get to above the second city. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not gonna worry about it. But you can guarantee yourself by going to the first cave and then going to the cave where you fight Rourke and getting your Zubat and Geodude encounters there, and then you guarantee a super low encounter Psyduck in that other cave. I'm forgetting to name, but anyways, guaranteed water type, not amazing abilities. Cloud9 damp is pretty nice, I guess, but like it's like a filler water type with good coverage for a little while that you're probably gonna replace later on. But nice early game. I mean, you guarantee a water type and just solo Rourke, so that's nice, and then be like pretty okay. You evolve pretty early, so you'll be pretty okay for the beginning game. I guess I don't have the Wormadam. I would rank all of the Wormadam forms, but they're not all here. I'm not going to worry about it. So the best one is Trash Coat. None of them are really that great. Trash Coat's probably C tier, while the other two are probably F tier, to be honest. I think it's just, you don't have moves. You get like Quiver Dance and like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. In Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, every Pokemon gets better because you have better movesets. So I'm just going to say that. And you also have like the broken friendship stuff in that game. So yeah. I think it's probably C tier. Motham's also C tier. It's just too slow, and you get moves just too late. Like, honestly, Wormadam's probably better for Burmy than Motham is. Beautyfly is like a better version of these bugs, but they're really... And actually, I don't know. Okay. Now I'm thinking about it. You actually do have 2 gyms in a row that these things are actually useful for. Because you get it right for Gardenia. Not 2 gyms in a row. Right for Gardenia, you have to skip Fantina, and then for Maylene. So they're pretty useful for a little bit early. I guess I could throw it in the B tier just for the early game usefulness, and Dustox also goes here just for pure moveset. I think Mothim is just a worse version of both of these still, to be completely honest. And then Wormadam is just kind of awkward. I don't know. I think Mothim's speed just really hurts it. Not like Beautyfly is. I guess it's faster than Beautyfly technically. Then sure, I guess Mothim's better Beautyfly. I'm like bouncing around between this so much. Looking at moves, you don't get a stab bug move for a while. Yeah, they're all kind of awkward. I'll put them all together like C tier. They have a pretty good early game. I'll give them that, I guess. There's like a little chunk in the game where they're all decently useful. Something like that. Vespiquen is actually a good bug type though. Bug flying, heal order, defense order, attack order is all really solid. You've got pretty good stats, especially for a bug type. Yeah, 102 in defenses, 70 HP is okay, and 80 in attack and special attack. The low speed sucks, but you're really just a defensive Pokemon with the ability to, raise your defenses, which is awesome. And you can heal yourself, and you could even do stall strats with it. You even get a pretty strong stab later on. Is there Bug Bite in this gen? No, it's not Bug Bite. There is U-Turn though. Stab U-Turn is solid. Stab X-Scissor is solid. Is there Swords Dance? Can you use Swords Dance? No, that would help for sure. But it's pretty solid. Not that bug flying is amazing. Bug type's not too bad. Flying type's pretty good for the region. I could almost put it A tier, to be completely honest, but I think I'm just gonna leave it in B tier just because I can't think of amazing things. You get it if you get a female Combi. I guess male Combi is not here, but male Combi is F tier. Just yeah, but female Combi, if you can get a Vespiquen, it's solid for Gardenia, and I can't remember what level it evolves at actually. 21, so you'll have it. You'll have Vespiquen for Gardenia going completely solo. Fully evolved, pretty bulky Pokemon for Fantina is nice, and then against Maylene you're doing pretty okay. And then from Crash Your Wake you're not doing much. Byron, Cantus, Faulkner, you're starting to get slapped. And then for the Elite Four you're okay for these two, and not bad for Lucian. And even against Cynthia, you're not terrible. You're actually not terrible at all. For Spirit, you could hit Spiritomb pretty hard with attack order, and you could be healing yourself and take care of the Roserade and Lucario, and even not be horrible against Garchomp. I'm throwing it at the A tier. I'm throwing it the A tier. That early evolution and the ability to raise defenses and heal, and then also have solid stab. On top of that, I feel all of that just contemplates a good Pokemon, pretty good pivoting, Quad Wing just to rock, whatever. Whatever. There's really not that many rock types you're fighting, so whatever. I think it's really good. I remember using it and just being super impressed by it too. Yeah, Pachirisu, it doesn't have the moveset, so it's pretty bad. It doesn't get a good moveset at all. It doesn't get a good supporting moveset at all. Floatzel is a better Golduck, but I still think it's do I think it's how hard does it get outclassed to other water types? I mean, the water ground types you're going to get later on with Gastrodon, Quagsire, even Wishcash really do just make mono waters not as useful, but 115 speed and 105 attack with Swift Swim makes this thing really solid on rain teams. If you wanted to build a rain team, it's a #1 pick for a rain team, honestly. Just that speed and high physical attack with Swift Swim, Aqua Jet, Crunch is great coverage. You can move Relearner Ice Fang. I believe you can even move Tutor a couple moves. Even Brick Break is pretty solid coverage, especially just for a rain team. It's hard. You don't really get a lot of good move tutors. You can get Ice Punch. That's probably just better than Ice Fang. It's tough. It's the rain team power, because you could just build such a strong rain team in this game. The power it can give you in a rain team is super solid. And 115, 105 attack, it's just good stats. I'm going to throw it in the A tier. You also get it early. It evolves pretty early. I think it evolves like 26. Yeah, so you'll have it for Fantina. Yep, you'll have it for Fantina, and I think you have Bite at that point. At least. You have Pursuit. Crunch. You have Crunch at that point. Oh, yeah, definitely A tier. Definitely A tier. Cherubi, Cherum is... What is this thing? Chlorophyll is just so much better. Like, so much better. So much better. I have a lot of Pokemon to get through, and I might have to do this in 2 parts. Let's see. What's a good stopping point? Let's see. How many Pokemon have I done so far? Could do a second half. I'll get to, we'll keep going for a little bit, and then I'll stop here pretty soon. Gastrodon, Water Ground type. Water Ground type is so good for this region. I don't think it's the best. I think Quagsire is better just because I remember Storm Drain not being an immunity to water. You still want Storm Drain, and like getting hit by or drawn to this Pokemon. Water type, it does no damage, but it raises special. I can't remember if it actually works that way. Either way, raising special attack is cool, but I think just Water Absorb is better for just a normal playthrough. So Quagsire is a little bit better, but you're still super solid. Water Ground is great. You have great stats here: bulky, recovered, Surf, Ice Beam, and Earthquake is such good moves. Or like Waterfall. I'm just gonna do all the Water Ground types. And Quagsire I think is the best just with Water Absorb. And having a little bit higher attack. They're all relatively bulky. Water Absorb means you don't really need you can just like pivot with anything weak to water, which there's a million of them. Pivot with your guaranteed Geodude or something. And Beta Water type attack, you're really good for Crash or Wake. You're just really good against like every gym after that. Like, yeah, being amazing for Crash or Wake. You can even go get one for Maylene, and that could help with Lucario, I guess. But Water Absorb for Crash or Wake is great. You're going to take on Byron and just completely... You're going to solo Byron. You're going to be pretty solid for Candace. Even though Bombsnow has Water Pulse, so you can, like, do some pivoting and bait it to use Water Pulse somehow. Like a Fire type. Throw a Quagsire and heal yourself, although I guess you don't really want your Quagsire to be in on a Bombsnow, so... But that's something you could do. And then you're gonna solo Volkner. And then for the Elite Four, you're super solid with Bertha and Flint going down. You're doing pretty good against Lucians like Bronzong. And then against Cynthia, outside the Roserade, you've got like Melodic you're taking care of. You're doing really good against Lucario. You can Ice Beam the Garchomp and even like Togekiss. Super, super good. I think all of these are really good. And Wishcash is the worst just because you don't have the water immunity. And I could put it in the B tier. I could. Just because those other two are so good. But it are better, and they have better attacks. So yeah, Wishcash is just worse. It's just worse than the other two. And there's... Yeah, I will pull it down. I initially had it in A tier with them, but I think I will pull it down just because those two are just definitely better. If you don't get them, you get Wishcash, so use it because Water Ground's so good, but... Yeah, and I think they are probably coming to the top of A tier. They're really good. Like, you might not think they're amazing because their stats aren't super high, but just their typing is so good. Heracross is easy S tier. You can get this thing before the second gym, and it just cleaves through most of the game. Like, it's so strong. I don't really know if I need to explain this. You get it for Gardenia. You have Guts boosted attacks for Fantina. You're hitting Maylene really hard. You're like fine for Wake. You're cleaving through Byron's Steel types. You're cleaving through Candace's Ice types, except for the Frostlass. And even Volkner, like, you're fast and you just hit so hard. And then for the Elite Four, you can beat up some of Aaron's Pokemon. I guess he gives you a little trouble. You're resisting everything, almost everything from Bertha. Watch the Gliscor. Flint scares you, and then Lucian's kind of a double-edged sword. But you're gonna hit so hard. I feel like you're gonna beat up Lucian, and then even Cynthia, you beat up the Roserade. Really strong like Megahorn is gonna smack Spiritomb. You can beat up the Lucario. You can do really good against the Garchomp. Just super strong, and the early game is so good. Ambipom is on its own with Technician is pretty solid. Where was it? Which is Technician. Skill Link, you don't have Skill Link, but even just with Technician, you've got some pretty solid attacks like A Technician boosted Fake Out, I think. I mean, maybe you don't get Fake Out. But it's great utility moves in like Tickle and even Screech, and then like double hit. You're gonna hit really hard, honestly. But I think, and even like Last Resort is a good moveset. I think the best thing about this though is Agility, Nasty Plot, Baton Pass. And so you can totally run this thing with like double hit as your stab and your grinding move or whatever. You have Nasty Plot, Agility, and then you Baton Pass that. And you can Baton Pass that to so many good Pokemon. Like imagine Agility, Nasty Plot sent to a Roserade or an Alakazam or a Quagsire. There's so many things. There's even one better combo I'll talk about later, but I think that alone puts it into the A tier. Put my headset off just so it's not comfortable. Drifblim, it's B tier. The early Ghost type is like okay. It's okay. It's really nice for Maylene and Gardenia, but Gardenia is not that hard. And then Fantina, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I don't think it's really gonna help you that much because everything's gonna outspeed you and two-shot you. It's like helpful for early gyms, and I feel like that's kind of it, and it kind of just falls off because the 3 flying killers here really just hurt. And even against the Elite Four, you're not doing like you're okay for the Elite Four, I guess. You know, you're okay. I think it's a solid B tier. Probably better than like Golduck. Maybe not as good as like Graveler or Golem. Lopunny is a C tier. It's bulky, it's fast, but it doesn't have moves, and you don't really have a good ability either. Like Q-Charm is whatever. It's fast. It's just weak. It's too weak. I love Lopunny as a design. You know, don't make it weird. And Jump Kick and Dizzy Punch, like it's got some decent moves, even like Bounce. Like it's got some decent moves. It's another Agility Baton Passer, so that's something nice. But if you could learn like Swords Dance or something, that would make it way better. Yeah, there's not really anything else to Baton Pass with. It's like a Baton Passer, but it's worse than Ambipom. So I have to put it like C tier, maybe B tier, maybe. I feel like it's better than these. Yeah, I feel like it's better than these guys. It's like on par with Golduck, maybe. So I could throw it in B tier just for the Agility Baton Pass. That alone can just make a Pokemon so much better. Haunter, probably solid B tier. You're gonna. It's a great typing to have. Ghost type just is really helpful for like Gardenia and Maylene, and then Fantina. Your Haunter has to be faster, which it can be faster than Mismagius, but Mismagius might one-shot you just because you're frail, and you're not one-shotting Mismagius because it's actually pretty bulky. So it's not the greatest thing there, but Gengar is a lot better, and I think Gengar might actually jump up to S tier. Just because with Trade Evolution, if you can just trade it and evolve it that way, you can have a Gengar by Fantina and just be really good. You're still rocking a Gengar for Gardenia, but it's fine. Having a Gengar for Fantina and Maylene just makes things so easy. Just early Gengar. Otherwise, with Impossible Evolution with the ROMs, it's not until until Crash Awaken his Floatzel that you'll have Gengar, but you'll have like Grass Knot and I think maybe Energy Ball and like Thunder. You'll have like ways to hit the water types with nice coverage moves, and you're doing solid. It's very, very helpful for this Frostlass, which can be really annoying. And even in the Elite Four, pretty solid against Aaron. Watch the Drapion. You're levitating over a lot of Bertha, so you're a great pivot for Bertha. And you've got like Grass Knot and some great coverage to hit a lot of these things. Super effective. Watch out for the Houndoom, but you're a great answer to Flint's Infernape. And then for Lucian, if you can one-shot things and outspeed things, you're going to be really solid. You have to deal with the Bronzor, which can be a little annoying. And then for Cynthia, levitating over Garchomp's Earthquakes is great. And you can status it or hit it with an Ice Beam or something. Great answer for Lucario and Spiritomb and even Roserade. So it's super, super good for a lot of the game. I think it's probably better than Alakazam, to be honest. It's really solid. Gengar is super, super good. And I think you guarantee it too. Mismagius is not quite as good as Gengar, but it's still really, really good too. Bulky, fast, hard-hitting Ghost type. Ghost types are just solid. The Ghost type is really good in this region. You have a lot of good matchups. And yeah, I think you're just solid. Just really, really solid. Haunch Crow. Where do I want to stop? I should stop. I'll stop here. I mean, I'll stop at Skunk Tank and I'll leave the rest for part 2. Let's do that. Honchkrow, with Super Luck, Dark Flying is such interesting typing that can be really, really useful early on. Even just as Murkrow, you're doing super good against both of these gyms, and then you're still helping for Maylene by being a flying type. Take a little bit of a hiatus for these few gyms, of course, like the flying types usually do. But then for the Elite Four, you come back really, really strong. Aaron, yeah. Honchkrow in this Elite Four, taking care of most of Aaron's Pokemon, helping against Flints and Fernape, but even like the Houndoom, and being really, really good against Lucian. Like, really good against Lucian. And even against Cynthia, like, the Spiritomb is going to have a hard time with, like, Super Luck Night Slash crits, just kind of whittling it down. You're taking it out with the Roserade. You're kind of going even with Lucario, you're kind of scrapping it with it, but it's just still good there. And then everything else, you're just going to be able to chunk before you go down. You've got, like, Roost, so you can scrap with Lucario and win. Just because you have that healing. It's just, like Roost Night Slash is, like, all you really need. And, like, whatever flying type coverage you would have. I don't know if you have Brave Bird or not. And Super Luck is better than Insomnia, by far. I don't think you get a Dusk Stone for a little while. I think you can technically go into the Underground and, like, mine for it and get it pretty early. And then you even have, like, Nasty Plot Dark Pulse. So you don't even need Super Luck. You can just Nasty Plot Dark Pulse. Yeah, this thing is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You don't really have the best flying stab, but you don't really need it. I mean, Fly is fine enough. Even Pluck is, like, pretty okay. You don't really need it that much. You can move Tutor Air Cutter on Route 12. Yeah, you can move Tutor Air Cutter, so that helps. Especially with Super Luck. Yeah, you're doing solid. Yeah, amazing. Really, really, really strong Pokemon. I want to put it high. I think it's, like, really, really good. It could be faster for sure. I feel like the speed is the only thing that slows it down. That pulls it down. But it's still got some... It's pretty frail, too. That's the only thing that keeps it down, probably. Somewhere around here. But it's really, really good. Purugly is... Thick Fat is okay. Own Tempo would only really be good if you had Thrash, but you don't. You have Hypnosis, which is okay. Charm, which is okay. Captivate, which is okay and kind of niche. It's got some like niche stuff. I mean, Stab Body Slam is pretty okay. I think it's like I'm gonna put a B tier behind Lopunny just because Lopunny has an Agility Baton Pass. It's a pretty decent Pokemon for a little while. Seaking has Swift Swim, but it's just so much worse than Floatzel. I think it's C tier. It's not quite F tier just because you do have Swift Swim. If you had Lightning Rod, it'd be way better, but you don't. So yeah, C tier. I think you can get like Mega Horn maybe, or is that not till 63? You can technically use. Nope, you can't. We'll cap 62. You can technically level up and learn Mega Horn during the Elite Four champion bout, maybe, depending on what kind of rules you play with rare candies and stuff. So, I'm stretching so hard. It's like bottom of C tier. Chimecho also bottom of C tier. It's just not good. It's just not a good Pokemon. Like, what do you do with this thing? I don't really know. It's got a cool shiny at least. Like, what? It doesn't learn anything useful. Like anything. Heal Bell, I guess. You don't get Calm Mind until post game. Yeah, it's a stretch. It's like C tier. Honestly, I feel like these bugs are in like Machoke are all better than like Seeking and Chimecho. I could honestly throw out an F. 90 base special attack Psychic. 95 base special attack with Psychic is still hitting pretty hard. Skunk Tank, its typing is really good. Its stats aren't great because it's like not that fast, not that bulky, not that strong. Stench. The opponent could flinch if you make physical contact, you just kind of have like built-in flinch, which is cool. Aftermath could be decent. It's okay. I feel like it's, I don't know. Aftermath Explosion, I don't think that combos, but... No, I don't think it combos, but... Learning Flamethrower is, like, nice. It's got, like, okay moveset. It's got, like, a really awkward moveset, but having such good typing helps it out. I think it's going to be top of B tier, just because stats are not great. Good typing and, like, Explosion, but it's just a little awkward. It could be better. And I think I like the top of B tier. Miss Mages is probably higher up in A tier, kind of like around here. I'm not going to worry about the ordering too much. I'll order a couple things, but it's not like Kadabra is worse than Ambipom. Like, I'm just placing things. I'll only really order things if they're, like, two of the same Pokemon, like Quagsire and Gastrodon. They're both pretty much the same Pokemon. I think Quagsire is a little bit better. So I'm going to order that, but, like, Torterra might be better than these guys. Maybe, yeah. Weavile might not be the best Pokemon here, so don't worry about the ordering too much. It's kind of just mock ordering. Anyways, that's gonna be part 1. I guess I could call that Platinum part 1, whatever. And in part 2, I will go through the rest of the Pokemon. There's some very cool Pokemon to talk about here, and I guess I should talk about just some quick bans. These two are not till post game, really. And obviously you should be banning Garatido, so. And I guess the other ones I'll talk about. Anything else that needs to be banned, I'll talk about later. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. And this half of the tier list, so stay tuned for the channel for part 2. Anyways, guys, love y'all. Thank you for all the support. Stay frosty, I guess. I don't know. Don't get sick like me. Peace!